the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any community forum?
No.
I'm not sure where these need to go, but these, the fourth graders had to do some writing about what they were thankful for. These were in the concession stand when I got there, so you guys can read those. Okay, conflict of interest. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Motion by Ashley, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. At this time, we're gonna go into executive session, South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, Section 1, Personnel. If you just wanna wait just a little bit, we'll get you. Okay, communication and discussion items. Administrative reports, business manager.
So I give you guys all this qualified school construction bonds. I just wanted to go over something with you guys. Some of you were on the school board at the time, but at that time we were able to do these qualified school construction bonds, which was kind of nice. And I'll explain what I mean. So in a sense, we kept all our money, put it in CDs, and I showed you the principals, payments I made every year, and then the interest that I had to pay to US Bank. But those CDs would make us interest. So then the interest received is what I received off of those CDs. So what you can see is we made $505,000 on those CDs. So I made back over half of what I paid in interest on those CDs. And then I had, so at the end here, this last month, I got to transfer out of my debt service $306,089, and that'll go back into capital outlay, because that is what I had left over in the CDs from the payment. Why that is lower than that $505 is because the last two CDs I did not pay into them, because I already had enough money to pay the $3 million. So when you look at the financial statements here later and approve them, you're gonna see that I transferred that into capital outlay. And then just to remind everybody, I didn't take the new capital outlay certificates until the first part of July, so I could just deal with those this year for my things. And then I was able to we were able to pay stuff out of that capital outlay fund for the first few months. So that is why construction in progress has $665,000 in it. I figured between the new bleachers, the concession stand and stuff, it should all filter its way out by the end of this fiscal year. So I started it and I'll end it in 1 year, so. So with that new project, we still have the capital outlay, but I still have the construction in progress money in there. So we still have over $3 million plus the 665. And then the bottom part of this, just out of your guys' curiosity, if you're interested, so every 6 months I had to start a CD, and some of these amounts are bigger because your old CD expired and it just rolled into a new CD. But just out of interest, my interest rate, how it fluctuated back and forth. It finally got good, but just like if we would have had some good interest rates from the beginning, we would have had more interest. We tanked out a few times with 0.3 and 0.2, but that's the way the economy was going.
Any questions?
So the construction in progress on this sheet, that's $665,000, that's not spoken for.
Well, it would have paid for the track, except I had taken some of that money out of capital outlay, and I just did not put it back in there because we started talking about doing this other project, so I figured it'll all wash out in the end of my fiscal year. So just letting you know that we weren't aren't cutting tooth and nail on that project, that we still have some money.
Okay, thank you. High school middle school principal?
Okay, so you have my board report there. January student of the month was on responsibility, and freshman Kenley Medema, sophomore Hayden Bolt, junior Shane Utek, and senior Amana Ledra. Remember, that's voted on by staff and the student council there, so. So celebration, academic celebration is our quarter two honor roll students. We had a total of 79 high school students on the honor roll, and you can see 26 of those were on the 4.0, so that's a positive. And then 65 middle school students were also on the honor rolls, 3.0 to 4.0, so congrats to those kids. Semester two's underway. I had to make a few adjustments to the schedule, just for actually rooms, and, but it got that all done, and the teachers were very flexible in moving things around, and so we're good to go. Everybody's registered and in their classes, so that's good. On January 2nd, we met as a staff and discussed the pre-ACT scores. So with our report, I could see every question that we got and the percentage of students that got them right, and anything that was below a 30% of correct, I highlighted and gave to the teachers so they could look at what kind of questions the kids were missing and what, our high percentage of misses were. And they were gonna take that, and some things we're doing now are ACT questions of the day. I was just in classrooms today, and 2 of my teachers were going through those with different age levels, so we're doing 9 through 11. We'll get an ACT question either of the day or the week, depends, and so try to prepare them for those types of questions coming up. The class I was in today was freshmen, and they were like, oh, that makes sense, so I think getting them exposed to it will help them as they go through that. The juniors will take that test on March 24th. That will take place here. So we're gonna have to be strategic about quiet setting and all that, but we'll get that all arranged. But I sent that out to the parents so they know that that's a required day of school. It has to start by 9 o'clock in the morning, so those kids have to be here and they have to take it. The middle school test, students just finished up MAPS testing today, and then we'll look at that data. And we implemented split classrooms for math and English this year in middle school, and then we also implemented the study hall and kind of a focused 20 minutes of study hall on ELA and IXL or math help there. So just kind of gonna continue to look at that data and see if it's progress towards some, if we're growing and is it helping. So I definitely know the teachers like the split classes, and they seem like they can get through more material with having a smaller class. So 281 basketball starts tomorrow, and we have those boys and girls here Thursday and Friday, and then next week is 281 conference, so that will probably throw a wrench into our schedule maybe some point next week. But and then wrestling, we had wrestling last Friday here, and they have a full schedule coming up too. One act play. Public performance is January 23rd at 7, so if you have a chance to catch it, it is a spoof of Christmas classic plays. The Elf on a Shelf Must Die is what it's called. I read through it today. It might be pretty funny. So if you don't have anything to do on Friday the 23rd, come catch that. They perform the 28th for their competition, and they're going to perform for the middle school and high school kids on the 26th. So kudos to Miss Jensen and Miss Boomsma putting that together. Mr. Van Overshield is working on putting together, I didn't put this on there, so this is an addition, the CTE Perkins grant for, it's a bigger grant, 10 to 50,000, and so he's put together some information. I'm gonna work with him to refine it, and we'll get that submitted by January 30th, just to see if we can get some higher price industry standards, so. Working on that, and then the last thing is network-wise, I'm requesting quotes next year for basically the network backbone, trying to update the switches. It was on the schedule to do this year, but because we did the computer in high school, I just kind of pushed it off. They're working fine, but it's just they're out of warranty, and I think that it's been eight or 9 years probably since they've replaced those switches, so it's getting to that point where we probably need to. We did have the one die in the high school, and so we'll continue to work towards that, but I'll get some quotes on that.
Thank you. Superintendent, elementary.
Okay. Do you have enough for me? Yeah. You have
Yeah,
enough?
yeah. All right. So, off to a really good first start of second semester. Today was a doozy. I was a para today, so we had a lot of fun today. Our winter testing data looked really good. We're seeing a lot of growth just from the fall to the winter, so we're hoping to keep that up. And then kind of working on, with the state assessment, doing interim assessment. We're talking about that this Friday, how we want to kind of go about that, because the tests that we take are a lot different than what the actual state assessment is, and an interim assessment would help, you know, the kids, hey, I see these, this is how the questions are gonna be, you know, it's more long-winded paragraphs and stuff like that, to where we're hoping that once they see it, then they're not gonna be so scared or just shut down during testing when that happens. And then just thanks for the elementary staff working so hard and everything they do. This one wasn't on there. Miss Emeka and Miss Swartz are doing a training in Mitchell called Yukaru training. It's trauma-enforced practices, so say you have a kid who is fighting or destroying a classroom or stuff like that. We have it to where it's like diverting aggressive behavior, it's doing different stuff like that. It's a 2-day training. And then when they come back, they'll be able to train the rest of the staff on this. And this was kind of a big one that I've been looking for. This is where we're kind of looking to see if Core had a behavior therapist, just because we do have some students in that category right now. And it actually comes with, so they're like pretty much like blocking pads, so it's trying to stay away from, you know, putting kids in holes and stuff like that. So I called Bailey this afternoon and she said it was awesome, like really good information that they just did not know about. So we'll have staff get together at some point to go over that and train everybody on that. So superintendent wise, happy School Board Appreciation Month. I had no idea until Amy said something 15 minutes ago. So thank you guys for your support and the work that you do for the school. Over break, we did get the boilers finished. Everything is working, finally. We had, the library was very cold for a while, the preschool was cold. We finally got everything back. I think it just, somehow everything just hit right at one time with literally everything. So, we got everything fixed, everything's good. It's warm in the high school for the first time in who knows how long. So, pray to God that we do not get anything else like that. So, should be good. I did pass around the preliminary on the project here, and I kind of talked about this in that email, but I went to them and said, this is not going to work if this is the number. So you need to get me down, and Pitts has been very good about going to different places, finding different people. I've talked to Mike Eichstead, and I have talked to Clint Rainford, and they are also going to kind of give me some numbers of what they think it would be, and then hopefully bid on the project as well. I know for sure Mike, I'm still with Clint, I gotta meet with Clint tomorrow about the project, but I know Mike said he would definitely think about bidding on it. So, if you can just see here, just kind of everything that goes into everything, and the arrow down is what we would get rid of, and the number of stuff that we would get rid of without, you know, completely getting rid of this entire thing, was over 300,000. That's actually low. The 302 is actually low. There's some more stuff that's on there. But just changing, you know, the steel, you know, getting rid of some of the stuff in there, you know, probably doing our own countertop work, or, you know, hiring somebody that's cheaper, just different stuff like that. The one thing that is a huge price gouge on there was the bleachers. It first came in at $187 for 399 people. They met with a guy from Sioux Falls. He said if you do $299, you can get it for almost $100,000 less. And then the guy called him back again and said, well, if you want $399, it would only cost you about $10,000 to $15,000 more to do that. So we'd save almost 80 grand just going through a different company on that. So I think right now, with the contingency, it's around 800. Without the contingency, it's around 750. But he says with the bid efficiencies that we've had, you know, especially like in the track project and stuff like that, that he sees that number going down exponentially. And so when we do the bid process, all those options down here, they will have on there just to see where we would be at price-wise and see where we want to go, so we can either take them or we can get rid of them and go from there. Is there any questions on that?
How did this get this way? Like,
That's-
when we talked about it at first, it was 250,000, then they came back and they were like 400,000. How did we get to over $1 million?
Correct, and that's where you know, at the beginning, I told them, you know, I want this to be like 500 to 700, that's what we can, that's a sharp number that I wanna stick to. And, you know, they kept coming back, well, but you have like a set price? Like, yeah, the 500 to 700 that I talked to you about. And I think when they did this, they did it with literally the most expensive stuff that you can think of, metal-wise, carpentry-wise, you know, all of it, you know, even the bleachers on there, like, you just made one more phone call and you brought it down almost 100,000, you know? So, I think at the end of the day, when we get our bids, I think we're gonna be surprised how low it does get, but, you know, that high number we're gonna get if you just ask one person, you know, of, hey, what would this cost to do this, and, so they're redoing a bunch of stuff, with, like, these changes. So when like it comes down to it, I just don't think it's gonna be as much as it is, so. Anything else on that?
Yeah, as I'm just looking at this, like, there's so many things on here that are just exponentially high. The earthwork and utilities for 75,000, 86,000 for exterior improvement, concrete paving, landscaping, like, none of that is anywhere near
No.
what we're thinking.
And that's where we
for this
got
project.
rid of a bunch of that stuff, and that's where you almost came down $400,000 just off of that, you know? So, in the end, I do not think it's gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be as fancy as it started out as, but it's just gonna be basic in what we need, out there.
Basic.
and I am also very much okay with basic,
So
so.
what's the first one, general conditions?
Oh, what did he say that one was? I don't know if I was in there for that one, I think I had to leave when I
That
was
was,
that one.
isn't that like, like when they do those portable toilets? Oh, and like, when they did the track, we had to do the electrical.
Oh,
to
yeah,
do.
so like, if they have to come in and survey, they have to come in, you know,
Water
figure out,
lines, stuff.
yeah, water lines, plumbing, like boring, any stuff like that, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And again, that could be cut in half, you know.
Easily, yeah, easily, so.
Okay, anything else on that? Okay, I'll keep you guys updated on that, they're coming back with me in hopefully a week or two, and then we'll probably have to do a special board meeting for the bid process. It would be my guess, so, as of right now, you know, it was looking awesome to get this thing for a track meet, you know, in the spring, but if we can change the timeline and do this for bottom dollar and not spend a bunch of money on it, I'd much rather do that, so, as long as we have a good football season. We're not being, by the end of the week. So, okay, I started inputting documents for accreditation. I have a bunch of people that I'm working with on that throughout the school just to help out. So our review is the 26th. I've talked to a bunch of other superintendents already, and it seems like it's gonna be a pretty painless project, so we should be good on there. Our DOE food inspection came back, and we got a perfect score, so thank you to Lori, just stepping in and doing such a great job with that. And then just some projects looking ahead. Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the road. Again, we have fixing up that preschool park, gotta figure out how we wanna do that. Our gym floor is getting really bad. We're gonna have to look at sanding that down, and repainting it. They do not suggest just doing a brand new floor if you can sand it, but you can only sand it one time. So if you sand it one time, then you got another 10 years or so of good floor. And then, the gravel parking lot, south of the gym, just because we're gonna need parking there, for football games and track meets, especially when it comes down to that time, so. And again, we're not gonna mess around with, paving, so if we can just at least get it gravelled, and I think we could probably just do that ourselves. That's all I got.
Thank you. Board report.
It's a pretty light agenda. The only thing that came up to share was the tech position that we were talking about previously. They've decided not to move forward with it. They may co-op with Corsica. Hopefully I didn't say the wrong name, but they just felt it was too much for one person to be able to go through every district and be able to give them any kind of valuable time. So they have decided to move away from that. Otherwise, there were some things on the agenda.
Thank you. Do we have any committee reports? If not, 7.4 senior center.
So I went and looked at the senior center with Brian. There'd have to be a ton of work done. The floor is cracking. There's a lot of leaks in the roof. Other than that, it's a decent building. If we wanna do something with it, you know, I had a couple ideas of, you know, alternative school, not preschool, a daycare center. Just I did with, you never know when people are retiring or anything like that. And again, that wouldn't be like a next year thing that we would do, would be farther on, but, they had it valued at $95,000, which is way more than I would have thought. And he said there's a lot of people that are very interested in it, so, I just don't think it's the right time for us to do it. You know, different story if we're paying way, way less than that, but I just don't wanna put in a bunch of money in on it and, you know, not know what we're exactly doing with it. I just think it was just too short a notice and don't have a real good plan for it, so.
Alright. Moving on, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Jamie, second by Ashley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Open enrollment.
So we had we had 3, and suggesting to approve 2 and deny 1. We did that.
Do I have a motion to approve 2 open enrollments and deny 1 for class size?
Motion.
Motion by Mason. Do a second?
Second.
Second by Herman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We have a resignation from Shauna Peterson for middle school science. Do I have a motion to approve her resignation and thank her for her years at Wolsey Wessington?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Terry, do I have a second?
Second.
Mason?
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Driver's ed contract.
Yes, Callie Mosier for this next year, she's the one that did it this year. Last year, her contract was $28.90. So whether you wanna stick with that, or
Is this something that we can approve her contract and approve it for negotiations? I just feel the uncertainty of what we're going to, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay with that? Okay, do I have a motion to approve Callie Mosier for driver's ed pending negotiations?
Motion.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Jamie and Terry, sorry. Motion approved. Approved long-term sub for 155 per day.
And it would be,
Jason.
Jason. Next.
Jason Bankston, right?
Who is that?
Bankston.
She is a certified teacher, that's been subbing for us.
Okay.
She's out of Huron, she was in Huron.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
second by Mason. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. At this time, do I have a motion to go into executive session at 6:06, South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, for evaluating